This video is sponsored in part by Clutch Chairs. Clutch Chairs is the ultimate gaming chair and is the official game chair of the WWE and offers a wide selection of chairs featuring WWE superstar logos. Click our exclusive link in the description below to see if your favorite superstar has one or for more information. Clutch Chairs. Level up your comfort. Heyo! And what is up, gang? Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel once again for this part number 2 of our Mae Young Classic preview, and we are going to talk about all of it and finish it once and for all, you and I, right here, right now, on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, the hottest, fastest rising, newest podcast in all of the YouTube wrestling community. Thank you for being here. Let's do this for the ladies.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, wrestling fans, thank you so much for coming back for part number 2 of our official Mae Young Classic preview. My name is Nick Nightmare, this is Blue the Snowball Microphone, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on Sledgehammer TV. Thank you so much. Let's waste no time, and let's get this continued and finished once and for all. Do not forget, the first 4 episodes of the Single Elimination Tournament will be available on the WWE Network starting Monday, August the 28th. That is later on today. Episodes 5 through 8 will be available next Monday to finish up this tournament, and the final match will stream live from Las Vegas, Nevada on Tuesday, September the 12th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. 32 women from across the globe will battle it out to see who will be crowned the winner of this historic tournament, honoring the late, great Johnny Mae Young, who passed away in 2014. The first ever women's-only tournament to be held by the WWE will have a Hall of Fame announce team, with good old JR and Lita calling the action. Another first for this tournament will be featuring the WWE's first ever full-time female referee, Jessica Carr. It is shaping up to be an absolutely fucking magical night for women's wrestling, a magical week for women's wrestling, and I cannot wait. Let us continue along this road of lovely ladies that the WWE has compiled to compete from across the world to take part in this Mae Young Classic. So off to the control room we go, and let's start this list back up with Kavita Devi from Haryana, India, as the first female Indian wrestler to compete in a WWE ring. Kavita Devi is looking to follow in the footsteps of her inspiration and trainer, the Great Khali. Now, okay, full disclosure, this is the 3rd time that I've tried to do this bit, and I can't get past this line without laughing, because I just don't. I mean, I understand your heritage and your lineage, and he's probably the most famous wrestler to come out of India in a very, very long time, if ever. But how can a man that can't wrestle be training people how to wrestle? If you're truly watching wrestling, and you enjoy the sport of pro wrestling, Miss Devi, then you would know that he is not one to look up to. The man can't even barely walk. He can't talk. He has no English language skills. He has nothing. And this is the man that she inspires to be. And he's training her. He's training her. He couldn't train a dog to take a shit outside his house if he probably tried. He's training women to wrestle? Holy shit. I can't do it without laughing. I don't mean to make light of it. I'm sure, she's gonna be good enough in the ring to get by. When you're coming in with the training of the Great Khali, you're not going to be looked upon on this show as a heavy favorite to win the whole thing. Although that's probably the WWE's way of doing things. If she's the biggest and the scariest, they just might make her win the whole thing. God only knows what we are going to see when she steps foot in the ring. But let's get serious again, because this is not about the Great Khali. This is about Kavita Devi. And Kavita Devi is an accomplished power lifter whose strength and size give her a leg up on her competition in the Mae Young Classic. She has represented India in international competition, including the 2016 South Asian Games, where she won a gold medal. Look, listen, we're having a little fun here. It makes me laugh. It makes me fucking laugh to no end to think about the Great Khali training people in pro wrestling. The man can't even throw a tomahawk chop to connect correctly. He can't fall. He can't take a bump. It just doesn't make sense why he would be training anybody, let alone the first ever female Indian professional wrestler. But we're going to have to wait and see what this truly looks like. And I'm not saying that in a disparaging way. It's just, you guys know how I am when it comes to my wrestling, and if she's going to be walking around like a giant redwood just throwing chops, I'm going to want her gone almost immediately. Let's hope that that is not the case, and that she has training outside of the Great Khali with people that actually know what the fuck pro wrestling is. Moving on, before we get too angry. Lacey Evans from Paris Island, South Carolina, the lady of NXT. Lacey Evans mixes the glamour of a pinup model with the valor of a warrior. Drawn to pro wrestling after watching a staff sergeant compete at a local event, Evans cut her teeth in southeastern U.S. independence and signed with the WWE Performance Center in 2016. This Lacey Evans reminds me very much of like Charlotte 2.0. You know, and I've seen her in the ring on NXT, and I think she's absolutely got potential. It'll be interesting to see how far she goes in this tournament. Up next, we have Rachel Evers from St. Paul, Minnesota, the daughter of WWE Hall of Famer Paul Ellering, the current manager of the Authors of Pain down in NXT. A graduate of Lance Storm's Wrestling Academy, she is an aggressive competitor who relies on the athleticism that comes from being a three-sport athlete. She played basketball, volleyball, and softball in high school. Evers has been making her presence known on the independent circuit since 2015. She combines refined technique with a deceptive strength, as evidenced by her impressive powerlifting record, a bronze medal with the World Powerlifting Federation, 27 state records, and 5 American records, and 3 state titles. Rachel Evers, being the daughter of Paul Ellering, makes that the only thing I want to see. I think if they call up the Authors of Pain, they call them up without Paul Ellering. You give them a new manager or some new person to guide them. You leave Ellering down in NXT and you have him manage his daughter. That would be fucking great. Coming out of this Mae Young Classic, that's where they should go with Rachel Evers right away. You know what? You don't even have to take Ellering away from the Authors of Pain. You let him be on NXT for his daughter. You let him be on the main roster for his tag team. Let it be a stable. You know, why not? I'm all for it. I love it. Like we said in the first episode when we talked about Tessa Blanchard, I love people that have a lineage and a history in pro wrestling through their bloodline. I love second, third, fourth generation athletes. I always am pulling for them. So I hope to see her treated fairly and done well in this tournament and after, where the sky is the limit when you're a second generation star. Yeah, it might be a little bit harder and people expect more from you, but if you're a 3-star athlete, 3-sport athlete rather, you're used to the pressure and you welcome the competition, and I expect big things for Rachel Evers as well. Moving on, Jazzy Gewehr from Berlin, Germany. The 6'1" alpha female has captured titles around the globe for more than 15 years. She achieved her greatest success in Europe and Japan, holding championships in Swiss Wrestling Entertainment and Stardom. Her competitive fire burns bright outside the ring too, where she has fought many MMA matches and participated in multiple strong woman events. This girl frightens me just from looking at her. She scares the shit out of me. And I'm scared for the rest of these girls. 6'1" powerhouse of a woman from the land of Germany, which makes it even scarier for some reason. I don't know why. Jazzy Gewehr gonna take off some fucking heads in the Mae Young Classic. Probably he'll get out of the first round. Maybe he'll make the quarterfinals. Maybe even down to the semis. She's a big hoss of a girl, and she looks like she could do some serious fucking damage. Scary. Up next, from Ocala, Florida, Santana Garrett. Garrett is one of the most accomplished competitors outside of the WWE. Inspired to pursue wrestling by her father, who was once a grappler, Garrett translated her gymnastics and cheerleading background into a sports entertainment skill set that has earned her title reigns across the globe. That should have said pro wrestling. Into a pro wrestling skill set that has earned her title reigns all across the globe. Combine that with the mentorship she received under WWE Hall of Famers like Scott Hall and Larry Zbyszko, it's easy to understand how Garrett has claimed accolades such as the Cauliflower Alley Club's Future Legend Award, the same award won by Kurt Angle in the year 2000, and a 4th place position in Pro Wrestling Illustrated's 2016 ranking of the world's top female wrestlers. She has also been featured sporadically on NXT. I love Santana Garrett. When I seen her on NXT, I thought she was great. She's got a great personality. She was bright and colorful. Her moveset in the ring was fantastic. She was doing some high-flying stuff. She was doing some mat-based stuff. She's a very formidable competitor in this thing. I've been saying this about a lot of these girls because I'm just so hungry for, I guess, some different female athletes, some different female competitors, and I've seen some of them before, and the ones that I like, and I want them to go far, and I really see Santana Garrett going far in this tournament. At least she should. At least she should. When you read what I just read to you about her, she's definitely got the pedigree to move forward at a fast pace. She's been dying to ply her trade. She's been on NXT. She wants to be a professional wrestler, and you can tell. You can tell. She comes off, from the minute she comes out that curtain, she just lights up, and it's one of those rare moments where you're like, wow, this girl gets it. She really loves what she's doing. And I'm sure we're going to see lots of that from lots of these girls in this tournament, but I think Santana Garrett has something a little bit special, and she should be booked as such. I expect her to go a little further than most in this tournament. Probably not to the semis or win the whole thing, but I wanted to at least get one win out of this and make her look good, because she is much better than most that I have seen from what I've been looking at. Up next, Reyna Gonzalez from Rio Grande Valley in Texas. Gonzalez boasts both a pro wrestling pedigree. Her father is a noted competitor, Ricky Desperado Gonzalez, must be a West Coast guy because I'd never heard of him, and a collegiate athletic background as she played basketball at Sam Houston State University, not to mention her 6-foot frame. Not much more was mentioned about Miss Gonzalez. I don't know anything about her, and I'm going to be first exposed to her in this tournament, so we're not going to spend too much time talking about her because I don't know. I don't know anything about her, except she's 6 foot tall, her dad was a wrestler, and that's pretty much all you need, I guess, to gain entry into the Mae Young Classic. Because there's no real other accolades that I was able to find or to bring to you to report on here, so we'll see what she does. Kind of an unknown, a dark horse entry. We don't know where it's going to go. Up next, from Auckland, New Zealand, Dakota Kai. The New Zealand native and captain of Team Kick has been putting the boots to unsuspecting foes in the literal sense, from Australia to Japan to the United States, where she's held the Shimmer Tag Team Championships alongside NXT standout Ruby Riott. She even came into the WWE's orbit once before in a 2015 loss to Nia Jax on NXT. 2 years later, she is here now to prove that she belongs on the WWE roster, and for good this time. And I could not agree with this sentiment more. This girl is fantastic. She belongs on a show like NXT. One of the best things they could do is pair her with Ruby Riott and then allow them to possibly feud with Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. And you have this hardcore, grungy, real gritty, girly tag team versus the prissy, fluffy, pretty girls, iconic duo of Royce and Kay. I think right there you got fucking magic. You've got magic. Ruby Riott and Dakota Kai both have a very similar style. They're small in stature. They're pierced up, tattooed, real goth looking, and you take that dynamic and you play off against the cool girls, the mean girls. Come on, man, that shit writes itself. And these girls, all four of them, are very, very good in the ring, and I think that would be fantastic NXT TV. But let's not sidetrack off on that too long, because I think Dakota Kai, once again, may be one of the WWE's heavy favorites to go a little far in this tournament, just based off of that alone. They know what they got in Ruby Riott down in NXT. Triple H is in charge of this shit. He knows what he wants to do. Maybe that's possibly what he's thinking. I can only hope. And Dakota Kai, you guys are going to be surprised. This girl, as small as she is feisty, and she is going to be a force to be reckoned with in this tournament. After that, we got Abby Lath from Seattle, Washington, who was dreaming of becoming a superstar when she was young, and eventually studied the ins and outs of grappling under WWE Cruiserweight Drew Gulick. Lath has battled competitors across the independent wrestling scene, notably becoming the first and so far only woman to hold the Chikara Grand Championship. No small feat there for Miss Lath. Chikara Pro and that whole division over there, some of the toughest son of a bitches you will ever see. And for her to have done battle over there just proves how tough she actually is. Up next, we have Xia Li from Chongqing, China. Among the first Chinese athletes to be recruited into the WWE's developmental system, Li is new to the ring, but not to combat sports. A decorated martial artist, she claimed top place finishes in numerous tournaments all over the world, including the second World Traditional Chinese Wushu Championship, as well as fitness events such as the Nike Challenge competition in her native China. So here we have a situation where we are going to have an in-ring debut, pretty much. The first time this girl is going to step foot into a WWE and wrestle is going to be at the Mae Young Classic. She's been training at the developmental center. She is a natural athlete. She's a natural competitor, a martial artist, which is great. So it should come to her fairly naturally. It's going to be interesting how far they want to go with this, if they have another agenda to broaden the audience in China and make this girl one of the features of the tournament, like they're going to probably do with Kyrie and the rest of them, to bring in an international audience and highlight these people, which is fine. I don't mind it, as long as she can go in the ring. If she comes out there and flops, you got to take her out. That's just the way it is. She may not be ready. They only announced the signing of these Chinese competitors about 6 months ago. I think it was in and around the time of WrestleMania. We heard about this. And 6 months does not make a pro wrestler. But like I said, her previous experience may make her prone to learn this pretty quickly. And we will have to wait and see, just like with the rest of these girls, what Miss Li brings to the Mae Young Classic. Powering through here, we're almost at the end. We got coming up next Sarah Logan from Louisville, Kentucky, who I happened to see live at the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn show when they did the TV taping for NXT last week. Born in the woods and raised in the mud, Logan started in the U.S. independent scene in 2011. Sarah quickly carved out a rugged reputation. She polished her skills in Japan, where she trained under former WWE Light Heavyweight Champion Taka Michinoku at the Kaientai Dojo. And by the time headlines heralded her signing with the WWE in the fall, she had achieved notoriety in Europe and across Mexico as well. This girl's a tough little chick. She looks like she can hit you and hurt you, and she's not one to be taken lightly. Sarah Logan has made a few appearances on NXT, as I previously stated, and probably going to be a mainstay around the developmental center and in NXT for a while. It's probably not going to go too far, but definitely a very talented girl. Should make for some great matchups as we are rapidly approaching the start of the Mae Young Classic. After that, we have Renee Michelle from Washington, D.C., who was discovered by former WWE superstar Dwayne Gill, also known as Gilberg. Wow. Okay. Gilberg approached Michelle at the first sports entertainment event she attended, pro wrestling event she attended, and asked if she would consider giving it a try. Michelle agreed, and only 4 years later, she is one of America's top prospects. She's held the MCW Women's title 3 times and the ECWA Women's Champion title twice, and has built a reputation outside the East Coast, traveling as far as Japan and India. That's some pretty high praise going on there. Multiple championships and multiple federations. Renee Michelle just might be a force to be reckoned with right here in this tournament. Up next, Piper Niven from Ayrshire, Scotland. The 31-year-old Scottish starlet is an experienced powerhouse who has competed across numerous promotions, including Shine and Shimmer and Insane Championship Wrestling, with an impactful arsenal that includes a Vader Bomb, Power Slam, and other big-time maneuvers. She can knock out her competition at any given moment with a single monstrous move. And Piper Niven is one of 2 competitors from Scotland in this tournament, and she is definitely not your typical WWE superstar. She does not have the typical feminine body type that they generally look to hire and to promote and to bring into the fold, but her talent is going to overshadow her appearance by far. She's pretty much the anti-diva. She's the absolute opposite of everything they've ever looked for in a woman. She's not ugly. That's not what I mean. She's just a big girl. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the first time we are going to really see this from the WWE. And I want to applaud them for allowing this girl in this thing and showing the world that there are many different types of women, and that all types of women can do all types of great and amazing things. And that's why I hope that they feature Piper Niven in a much bigger light. Because if you want to truly give the message of empowerment to young women, then you should make the least likely of your competitors go the furthest. She doesn't have to win the whole thing, but she has to at least get far enough for us to believe in her. And I think that a talent like Piper Niven deserves that kind of a push. And I look forward to seeing what they do. And hopefully they don't just get her out of it right out of the first round and be done with this girl and go down whatever path they're really looking for. But we'll have to wait and see. Another from Scotland, the second female, is Kaylee Rae from Glasgow. A fiery star on the rise from the flourishing United Kingdom circuit, a young veteran of 8 years, she is the current reigning women's champion for Glasgow-based Insane Championship Wrestling, and also a former Queen of Southside champion, Scottish Women's Champion, and SWE Speed King champion. Again, lots of titles across lots of different promotions means lots of talent, and Kaylee Rae has talent to spare. She is going to blow everybody away in this tournament. She has been said to be one of Lita's favorites in this tournament. Probably not going to be booked to go all the way. I really, really believe Kairi Sane is going to end up being the winner of this tournament altogether. But a finals match between Kaylee Rae and Kairi Sane would be fucking insane. Because Kaylee Rae is tough as nails and she likes to fight. And it would be just a fantastic showdown between 2 completely contrasting styles, and styles makes matches. Not just AJ Styles, all styles make matches, and it would be fucking great to see that. But we'll know much more very soon when Monday comes around and we're able to burn through those first 4 episodes and then wait for next week's finals. After Kaylee Rae, we have Yesha Raymond from London, England. Raymond has been a trained fighter since the age of 15 and is an accomplished bodybuilder, so her grit and brawn aren't in question. She knew her calling was in the ring when she was young and would play wrestle with her brothers. Now she's all grown up, 6 feet tall, a self-described Amazon, towering over all her competition. Raymond was sharpened by the teachings of British greats like Johnny Saint, Tony Scarlo, and WWE Performance Center coach Robbie Brookside. Again, don't know much about her personally, but that sounds like she's an intimidating force. Any woman that comes in this thing over 6 feet definitely has an advantage because most of the field comes in at under 5 feet. So, I'm sorry, at 5 feet, not under 5 feet. That would be ridiculous. That would be like midget wrestling. We don't want that. Well, maybe we do, but not right now. I'm talking about the ladies. Let's not talk about the little people. 2 more contestants to go, and let's keep this Mae Young trainer rolling with the very next entrant in the Mae Young Classic, which is Miranda Salinas, fighting out of Houston, Texas. She grew up idolizing the great WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus, which is an absolutely fantastic superstar to want to mold your career out of or after. Diva of the decade, what more can you ask? What a great inspiration for her. She used her as an inspiration to begin training at the age of 18 years old for a career in professional wrestling, competing primarily in Louisiana and in her native home state of Texas, including in Booker T, the 5-time World Heavyweight Champion, and his wrestling promotion, The Reality of Wrestling. Salinas is equipped with a fast-moving style that is punctuated with notes of lucha libre. Hey, listen, I'm excited about this girl for one reason and one reason only, and that is because Booker T has given the WWE Universe Ember Moon. And Ember Moon is fucking awesome. And if he has the capacity within him to deliver talent such as Ember Moon, I have no reason to be afraid of what Miranda Salinas might be bringing to the Mae Young Classic. Booker T's entrant into the tournament probably will not disappoint. And finally, last but certainly not least by any means, is Zeta from Richmond, Virginia, representing China. She might be relatively unknown in the WWE, having only joined a performance center earlier this year, but Zeta is the real deal. Prior to arriving in Orlando, she received wrestling training under the likes of Brian Kendrick and fighting training at the Black House of MMA, the same fighting facility where UFC legend Anderson Silva trains. So another one of these Chinese representatives in the tournament who are making their pro wrestling debut in the Mae Young Classic. And there you have it, everybody. That is all 32 women competing in this tournament. I have my favorites, which I've highlighted throughout the show. Definitely Tessa Blanchard is my favorite. It is probably an unrealistic favorite, but I can only hope that the WWE sees the value in the lineage that they have in some of their second and third generation people wrestling in this tournament and actually push them appropriately, because those are 2 bona fide stars. Rachel Evers, Paul Ellering's daughter, and Tessa Blanchard are sorely needed by the women's division. Sorely needed. Even if they start off in NXT, like I said. You got a big name like that, you might not have to start off in NXT. Both of these girls have had extensive experience in the world of pro wrestling, and I look forward to them joining the main roster, hopefully sooner than later. As I could probably say for most of these girls, because we all know the women's divisions on both shows are shit, and we need, more than anything, more girls on the show. Thank you guys so much for watching this special. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe if you have not subscribed already to the channel. We are always welcoming new members, and we hope to see you guys very, very soon. Light up that comment section. Let me know what you think about everything I've had to say over the last 2 episodes of this very, very, very special Mae Young Classic. And that is going to do it, everybody. I am out of here, and we will see you next time right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Thanks for watching.